Grazie a tutti.
Grazie,
Arrivederci.
grazie. Thank you so much.
Grazie. rotolata e la soppressata invece ricavata dalla carne magra del maiale del condita con pepe nero. Buon appetito.
Pari il chilo? Al masticoso negro o tipo cortalo? Questo masticoso è stato.
pierdolicie wysypiało. Antonie. Apra. Sono due piantini.
Non come male. Ho bucate le zeli. Se lo fai nella magazzina. Ho usciato lo strilone. Un quarto bagno per la già. Bucate di dai zeli. Dați-mă un bani. Și o ceapă. Le călești în ulei. Călești bine în ulei. Aducem
Ma poi come si preparano? Тут собака.
Собака.
Buongiorno. Aha, nice.
Bene, va bene, il
Allora, il dolce, questo è il dolce di cuore fatto da noi. Noi di solito facciamo un po' tutta la distribuzione di questo portarosso, come i primi due assaggi. O scegliete voi, oppure se non volete il dolce, le fragole, queste qua del liquore che voi conoscete in mano.
One more.
Grazie mille, è stato un piacere.
Proseguimento.
Ci vediamo a Pescara.
Buon proseguimento.
Anche a
Ciao,
voi,
grazie.
grazie.
With lemon?
Yeah, it's
Yeah?
okay.
Good morning. Our restaurant, L'Uroche, was one of the first to open in the country. We were the first to introduce typical, traditional, authentic cuisine. We've been here for over 30 years. That's why we keep things simple. We preserve tradition and prepare simple dishes using natural, authentic, home-produced ingredients.
How many generations have worked in this restaurant?
This is already the third generation. My father founded it, and I'm continuing his work. After spending 15 years abroad gaining experience, including working in high-end restaurants awarded Michelin stars, I came back a few years ago to carry on the legacy. This is our project. Our signature dish is Senatore Capelli pasta with breadcrumbs baked in a wood-fired oven with walnuts and the famous Crusco pepper. It's one of the best products in Basilicata, protected by trademarks, and this dish represents our tradition. We also also offer a wide variety of our own artisan products, cheeses, desserts, and liqueurs. We try to make everything ourselves, simple but high quality.
What's the secret of good Italian cuisine?
Italian cuisine is incredibly diverse. It varies from region to region, from city to city. But without a doubt, the best cuisine is from the southern Mediterranean. Our climate has also helped a lot, as have the healthy, authentic ingredients that allow us to move from tradition to innovation and beyond.
Ci permette di variare, dalla tradizione anche all'innovazione e quant'altro.
How has Pietra Pertosa changed over the last 30 years?
Thanks to the launch of the Flight of the Angels, we've had the opportunity to make ourselves known. But clearly, from an economic standpoint, the local area has declined because, unfortunately, many young people leave and don't stay here to invest in their land. It's a widespread issue, rooted in both mentality and local politics, which fail to support entrepreneurship and young people with ambition.
Dalle politiche locali che non tutelano l'intraprendenza e i giovani che vogliono progredire.
We would be happy to welcome you. We are located in Italy, in the village of Pietra Pertosa, at the restaurant Le Roche, near the San Francesco Monastery, in the historical center of town. Thank you all.
Grazie. Thank you so much. It was nice.